Hello and welcome. It is the 30th day of August 2022, and yes, it is yet another interesting segment of the newspaper review here on TAP TV. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and thank you so much for joining me. Looking at the papers with me today, as usual, is Mr. Victor Silku. You're very much welcome to join me, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
And just briefly, before we dive into the world of politics, we'll be taking a brief look at the world of sports, where we had sad news coming from Barcelona yesterday. The family of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang being robbed in the early hours of yesterday, and of course, from the news, he was beaten and threatened. The robbers actually made away with a lot of cash and jewelries. The police are out there right now looking for the robbers. I don't know what do you make of this particular headline?
Okay. To me, yeah, to some persons they might be like, so these footballers can be actually robbed. When you try to say, okay, when you try to put it on a play that Nigeria, when you're trying to differentiate
He's
between
not the
Nigeria
first, actually.
I know, but yes,
He's not the first.
that's not the first, yeah. But we should also note that robbery do occur, okay, and no matter how, in as much as there are some indications saying that some fans are agitating that he might leave Barcelona. Okay. Note that Chelsea are really high contenders. They want to sign him.
Okay.
We don't know what happens from today, Tuesday to Thursday, but yes, it could still be that some fans, in quotes, some crazy fans must have done this too. Okay. You know, in football they say anything can happen.
Like, why do you want to go? Why do you want to go?
Yeah. So it's still possible. But I wish him all the best.
Yes, we do wish Aubameyang all the best, and of course a quick recovery. And right now we are going to go straight into the main business of the day, which is the reason why we are here. We shall be starting first with the Vanguard, and amongst the headlines in the Vanguard for today, we have Obasanjo's presence at Wike Obi's London talks rattles Tinubu's camp. Obasanjo's presence at Wike Obi's London talks rattles Tinubu's camp. That's on page 5 of the Vanguard. And next on the Vanguard, we have on page 9, this one says, Ngige writes Adamu on status of ASUU FG negotiations. Ngige writes Adamu on status of ASUU FG negotiations. Okay, as union extend strike indefinitely. Right, that's on page 9 of the Vanguard. Another interesting headline in the Vanguard here says, Court stops Buhari NBC from shutting down 53 broadcast stations. Okay, that's on page 7. Court stops Buhari NBC from shutting down 53 broadcast stations. That's on page 7 of the Vanguard. And next we have Hush Puppy. Why court refused FG's request to extradite Abakari to US for trial. That's on page 7. Okay, and next we have pregnant woman dies. 3 vehicles with passengers swept away by flooding in Borno. That's on page 6. That's a sad one coming from page 6 there of the Vanguard. And next we have why I defected to PDP. According to Shekarao, says why I defected to PDP. That's on page 11 of the Vanguard. And next we have Delta Guber, appeal court. Appeal court reinstates Oborevori as PDP candidate. Appeal court reinstates Oborevori as PDP candidate. That's on page 2 of the Vanguard. And lastly, we have 2023 PDP Labour Party jittery over Shetima's popularity. 2023 PDP Labour Party jittery over Shetima's popularity. That's according to Borno indigents. Okay, that's the much we can take at the Vanguard. And just before we look at our next paper for the day, Mr. Victor, what do you make of these headlines?
ASUU Strike is the big topic for today.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we got the report that the strike has moved to the level of indefinite. It is no longer a warning strike. It moves from warning strike to rollover strike. Now it is indefinite. And it's so sad that both parties could not reach an agreement so that our students can go back to their classes. Mind you, 6 months has been has been wasted, okay, with respect to these students. Courses that are to take, some persons that are supposed to run their courses for just 4 years, many of them will end up 6 years, some 7 years. And it's so appalling.
And
And
according to the Mr. Sorry for cutting, I think there are some universities right now who have actually decided to opt out of the strike to say, we are tired, I beg.
Yes.
As we can continue, we are opening, we are resuming.
yes, because it's affecting their tummies, it's affecting their intestines.
Okay.
Most of these lecturers are not feeding, they are not eating. Okay, they can't run their cars. In fact, cars right now is more like luxury. Okay, so even in Unilag, just yesterday, a whole bunch of lecturers resigned.
Wow.
Cause what they'll be like, man, I need to move on. And from the look of things, come September, come January, many lecturers will leave the shores of this country.
And I do have a funny feeling that by the time they actually decide to call off this strike, or by the time ASUU gets into an agreement with the federal government, I just have a feeling that it might be too late, because then we'll have lots of lecturers who must have actually, gone out of the country. Some must have even quit the profession, stuff like that, and you could actually lead the students more backward than they are right now.
That's good. That also goes down to the students. Some students might never go back to their universities anymore. Some might just stop it, as in just pick up a job or
And move on with their lives.
just move on with their lives. It's
Wow.
a very sad situation. Right now, we're now be like, okay, what are the main issues now? The issue right now is not even from reports. It's not even from the agreement itself, the 2020 renegotiation agreement. Right now is about the federal government. They are asking the federal government to pay them the backlog salaries before they go back to school. Okay? And they are insisting that they will put the students through with everything that they've lost. And I ask, will 6 months be enough?
Enough, yes.
Okay? No, 3 months rather, because a session is about 9 months. Okay, how will they cope?
They plan on rushing. That's what I'm saying. They plan on rushing these students, and of
So
course,
they want to rush them. I still stand the side of the government, okay, in a way, because how do you want to rush these students, okay, and you want to get your salary for 6 months? So you want to take 1 month, about 1 month, to coach them, then you want to be paid for 6 months. So you find there is a whole lot of imbalance happening there.
So what are you suggesting right now, Mr. Victor? Are you suggesting that ASUU calls off this strike and go back to school?
I think they should, just for peace to reign, they should forget about some part of the salaries. Let's say forget about 50%. They should go back. There should be an agreement.
This is money matter.
I know, but you need to let go, because okay, let's go to the details now. For you, part of your salary includes transportation.
Mr. Victor, how do you expect them to let go when the government have been busy spending here and there?
No. Okay, will you be paid for not going to work for 6 months? Oh, you take a look at that.
But Mr. Victor, they didn't just stop going to work. Something prompted it. So why don't the government look into the reason why they stopped going to work?
So they should take the full sacrifice. If the students have stayed at home, some of their rent has expired. Okay, some of the savings their parents have saved is being dwindling down. So why would the lecturers take a loss? Are you getting me?
Huh?
Because in many cases, it will also look like, see, these lecturers have stayed for 6 months at home. They've been on holiday for 6 months. Then they resume. You now pay them backlog of 6 months that they did not work for. You do not pay transportation to go to school. You do not spend any money regarding the school. And you are now wanting to be paid for not going to work. Take a loss. You mustn't go out and say you want the whole of 6 months. Even if you mean 2 months, go and collect it and go back to
Mr. Victor, it's not easy.
class.
It's not
The
easy.
major thing is that, what about the negotiations? The 3 key negotiations, the 3 points agenda you guys were gunning for. Has it been met, or is it closed? See, you cannot win it all.
Mr. Victor,
I understand the government. I understand that the government of today, they are failures. No two ways about that. Okay, but for the sake of these students too. Okay, and if you are going for the strike, if you want to now use 1 year, let's just know that 1 year has finished. Let's just make sure that this has been sorted out. But you see, for that payment, you need to work and get paid.
Mr. Victor, things like this are easier said than done. Yes, especially when you are at the, let's say giving end of it, not the receiving end. Because I really feel for these lecturers, of course, yes, because a whole lot of them actually depend on these salaries to sustain. So you now say that yes, though the situation is actually looking like they actually need to compel themselves to take a pay cut and go back to classes, but it's not really easy.
Okay,
It's not really
so
easy because they've
so
worked for
let's
this
now
money.
ask. Let's
They've
ask the
worked for
question.
this money, so they should be
They
paid.
didn't work the past 6 months.
Okay, before they embarked on this strike, they have been owed previously, which actually led to them saying no. This time around, we will not say go back to school and then and say okay, pay us the ones that we owe you. That's why they went for the
Okay,
strike.
Mr. Cyril, just a moment. Three people are involved in this strike: the government,
Mm-hmm.
the students,
And the
the
lecturers.
lecturers. Okay, now these three persons, we need to mention the impact, the negative impacts to them all. What are you taking? What losses are you taking? The government on their own are taking a huge loss. Reason because the party, the ruling party, the APC, they've lost their face. Okay, so they lost value because the same students that will vote in the next election, mind you, they will agitate and it will show by the vote, meaning that they are taking a loss. The students already, they are taking a loss because they are losing time. The students and their families, their parents, they are losing time.
Okay.
Okay? Now the lecturers, what are they losing? They are at home agitating, fine. And you now want, after the agitation, you now be paid for agitating. You now be paid for staying at home. You need to take a loss.
Okay, okay, Mr. Victor. Let's not dwell much on that particular headline. Let's move on. We're going to move on with the Daily Sun now. Headlines in the Daily Sun says this one says Wike Makinde Bazu Autumn may lose out in PDP. Party Party hotheads consider pulling rug off governor's feet. Ready to move on without Rivers governor allies. Okay, that's on page 6 of the Daily Sun. And on page 27, we have heavy cash movements threatening Nigeria. That's according to EFCC. Heavy cash movements threatening Nigeria. That's according to EFCC on page 27. And next, we have here IGP, Inspector General of Police, condemns attacks on policemen, orders prosecution of offenders. That's on page 5 of the Daily Sun. And lastly, we have Obi replies Tinubu over comparison. Others. That's on page 3 of Daily Sun. Okay, Mr. Victor, which of the headlines interests you?
Okay, the money movement that the EFCC chairman or the EFCC body mentioned about. Okay, the elections are coming very close. So there was a memorandum of understanding event that happened between the EFCC and the NYSC.
Okay.
Okay, mind you, in our elections, the NYSC play a very vital role during the electioneering processes, especially during voting periods. Okay, now the EFCC have come out to say, see, monies are exchanging hands, especially in vote buying. And money laundering is occurring due to the election. People are piling money up, people are making some upward transfers. A whole lot of movements are happening with our monies now. So they are also coming out to say, see, the NYSE are supposed to reorientate themselves to know that, see, they are part of the electioneering process. They are part of the Nigeria goal. Now, you have three major bodies during the election, which is INEC, the NYSC, and we call them the police force, or just the security forces, the security agencies. So, representative of the security agency, that's the big umbrella, which is the EFCC, has come out to say, see, the NYSC need to please stay focused and orientate and teach your members to carry out their duties properly. But I have an issue here. Why they are making all these statements, they should also go to the details to also note that core members also lose their lives during this electionary process. What are they putting in place? Because they also made a statement
To
that
ensure safety, the safety of these
yes,
core members.
he even made a statement that that the core members are more like spread out everywhere in the country, unlike the police. And I wonder, why would you be making such a comment? Are you now saying that the NYC members are now police
Should
officers?
take, or they should take the place of the police.
Yes. Okay. So while they are doing all these things, they should make sure that these core members are well protected. You cannot just send them out in a volatile region and expect them to carry their duties properly.
Mm.
These are people's children.
Mm.
Okay. They are not trained to handle security issues, so they should make sure that these persons are being protected.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to, in quotes, use them for in place of security agencies, no, or security agents rather. Okay.
It's a sad one.
Yes, so they should please look into that. We don't want in 2023 we start hearing another round of news that a core member was killed here or there or there. So they should please make necessary preparations.
All right, so quickly now we'll move straight to our next and last paper, which is The Nation. And amongst the headlines, The Nation's here, this one says PDP crisis, setback for Atiku, Wike reconciliation. PDP crisis, setback for Atiku, Wike reconciliation. Atiku's men rally party organs for chairman. Are you? Something will happen soon, says Rivers governor. Okay. And next we have voters for capital projects unlikely in budget 2023, says finance minister. Federal government plans 19.63 trillion naira budget with 12.41 trillion naira deficit. Wow. Okay. And next in the nation, we have ASUU declares total indefinite strike. ASUU declares total indefinite strike. Okay, we talked about that before. And on page 7, we have World Bank excludes Nigeria from $315 million food security cash. World Bank excludes Nigeria from $315 million food security cash. That's on page 7. And on page 6, we have I am here for higher calling, says Tinubu. I am here for higher calling, says Tinubu. That's on page 6 of the nation. And lastly, in the nation, we have court declines governor's request to extradite Abba Kyari to US. That's on page 30 of the nation. Okay, that's the much you can take in the nation. Don't forget to get a copy of the papers for yourself if you want to get more details on these headlines. Mr. Victor, what do you make of these headlines?
Okay, I'll try and do a 2-in-1, try a way to relate them up. Okay. Now, Wike said that he will open his mouth in quotes. Okay. Okay. Well, the days are going by.
We all know he always has something to say. Actually.
Yes. So that he's going to expose some persons. Okay.
At the right time.
Okay, at the right time. Okay, that's one side. The economy side, we are getting a very sober news that our budget for 2023 will be around 19.3 trillion naira. Fine, good numbers, okay? But the problem now is that we do not have revenue that will even match it by 50%. Our revenue projection for 2023 is around 6 trillion naira, which the oil sector will help in doing that. The oil sector that we already know that is dropping. Oil theft has been a big issue. The government of today are doing nothing. I mean nothing about it. And they are not even being creative to make sure that, see, our revenue can go up. Now, what are they saying? They are saying that by 2023, if nothing is being done, that capital projects might not come to fruition. Meaning that our roads that are ongoing might just stop.
And I hear that the country
throughout 2023.
And I hear that the country cannot even borrow anymore.
Oh, we are owing a lot. You know, they still have hope to borrow, but
really,
they know that it's not sustainable. They know that it's not sustainable.
I doubt.
It's not sustainable. Nigeria is owing over $40 billion. It's not sustainable. It can't work. Okay, so now the election is here, and we have some persons. I'm not trying to talk against politically talk against the APC right now, but Nigeria should know that. See, we are in critical times. We need the right leaders that can turn things around. It is so obvious that this current group of leaders cannot do anything about this. They are rolling from one pillar to the post. They are about retaining power. But the common man on the street, the person selling akara, the person selling
Can't
groundnut,
survive.
they are
They're struggling to
they are
survive.
struggling to make a living. And we are talking about this leader is strong or is not strong. This person is from this part of the country or not part of this of the country. We've forgotten that this election should be about capacity, be about somebody that can be able to turn the tides of this country.
Mm.
Okay, what are they now saying, the PDP on their own? That if this crisis continues between the Wike, now it's more like Wike now has his guys including Makinde, including the failed Abia State governor and the failed Benue State governor. These people can't pay salaries.
Bad.
Okay, it was an autumn. These people can't pay salaries, and they are moving up and down. They are not creative. They're just moving up and down and making utterances on media. Okay, so what are they saying? The PDP are saying that they will, well, the hotheads in PDP, they are saying that they will fight these persons come 2023, meaning that Ikpazu wants to become a senator, and he has put his own candidate, Professor Ikome, to become the governor come 2023 in Abia State. So they are saying they want to fight against them to make sure that their powers are being shredded. Okay, but the PDP has forgotten that, see, these persons are holding the structure of their party in the state. How will they be able to remove them from power and not affect the entire structure? Are you getting that?
Okay.
Well, for me, I do not personally, but I do not care about all this. What I care right now is bringing in true leaders, people that are creative. It's about creativity now. Competent, yes, and creative, to find out ways to increase the revenue of most of these states. Most of these states, they just wait for month end, go to Abuja, collect money and share. And from the look of things, these monies are no longer one available, and they are not even the ones that they get are not even enough for them to solve the issues of their states. And the election is here, and they need money for this election. It's sad one, my brother. Really sad.
It's a sad one, but unfortunately, we have to draw the curtain on the program here. Mr. Victor, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, sir.
We do appreciate, and we also appreciate you who have been watching us to this time. Without you, we would not be here. Thank you so much once again. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and this is the newspaper review. Don't forget, you can also be a part of this discussion. If you have questions, you have suggestions to make, do well to drop them in the comment section of any of our social media platforms. You can check us out on YouTube, we're at TAP TV. Check us out on Instagram, we're at TAP TV_NG. On Facebook, we're at TAP TV. And on Twitter, we're at TAP TV. This is where we have to draw the curtain on the show today. My name is Cyril once again. Until we come away again next time, to have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.